Hey, what's going on, everyone? So this video is to show you guys how to get territory standing. They've added something in the game now. I'm sure most of you have already seen it. Maybe not. I'm sure there's some people out there that don't know quite everything. And I'm actually making this video per request from Juan Meganson. So Juan, what's up, buddy? How you doing? This is how I get my territory standing, and I mean, this goes for everybody. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, so when you're farming territory standing, whether you want to buy a house or you want to get more storage or even some of the gathering speed stuff, whatever the case may be, there's a couple things you want to make sure you have in order first. Number one, it doesn't matter what level you are, as long as you have an instrument, you can get the territory standing buff, which will give you all the way up to 30% bonus territory standing wherever you're at. So you just pick just play wherever you want. Doesn't matter where you're at. If you want Cutlass Keys standing, you don't have to be in Cutlass Keys when playing the song. You just play the song and you'll get the buff. Now, the harder and better you are at the song, like if you get all perfect, you're going to get the maximum, which is going to be 30% additional territory standing for 90 minutes. So I'll show you really quick. And there you can see the buff right down below. And it only says 1 hour, but it's actually 90 minutes if you highlight it. So 30% for 90 minutes. All right, so now we're going to do it on novice, and we're not going to do a very good job. And as you can see, it's only 30 minutes and only 10%. So literally a third of the buff. Now there's also a buff that you can get for one of the forts. I think it's at Monarchs. Yeah, so the Keep Monarchs buff actually gives you global experience boost. And it says that it does give you territory experience. So that's another 5%. So in total, with the fort buff and the musical buff, you're going to get a total of 35%. And this is on all the time, and it doesn't matter where you're at. Any territory standing is going to be increased by 5%, not just for territory in Monarch's Bluff. So when you're farming territory standing, there's basically like 3 or 4 different ways. You can do portals, you can kill mobs, you could do quests in that zone, and you could do crafting in that zone. So like I said, pretty much everything that levels your character up except for gathering. Now, a couple things about all the different methods I just said. So when it comes to portals, it doesn't matter if it's a level 25 portal or a level 55 portal. You're going to get the same amount of standing when you close them. Now, those smaller ones give you like a little over 300, and the bigger ones will give you like 400. I think this might be a bug, but for me, it didn't work. This buff, the music buff, it doesn't apply when you go to close the portal. So whether you have the buff on or not, you're going to get the same amount for closing the portals, but it does apply for killing the mobs in the portals. Now, not all of the mobs give you territory standing when you kill them. It's mainly the bigger ones and like the priests, but the crawlers and the little trash mobs, they really don't give you, or they don't give you anything at all. Now, when you're out there closing portals, this is more of like a solo guide, so you can actually do anywhere from the 25 all the way up to 55 solo pretty easily. Now, you could do the 66 portals, but I don't think it's worth the extra effort. Like, you can do it solo, but it's pretty tough. But if you have a group, then, by all means, go for it. Another decent way to get territory standing is just by doing the town projects. They don't give the most experience. It may not be the best method, or it isn't the best method, but it's easy and it is very consistent. And you can buy most of the materials in the marketplace for most of these. Another place to get somewhat decent territory standing are the PvE quests from the faction vendor. So this is in Windsward, so it's a lower level area, but it'll give you anywhere from 481 down to 320. But the PvP missions they're not worth it at all. So kind of stay away from those if you're looking for territory standing. Now in Reekwater, they give you pretty much the same thing. So whether it's a higher level area or dungeon quest or whatever the case may be, it doesn't look like you're going to get any more than 300 or 400 from any of the zones. Now, if you're really serious about getting your standing up, this is hands down the fastest, the best way, and it gives you a crap load of territory standing, and that is the territory supplies. This is done at the stone cutting table. Each one of these supplies you can do 8 times within the cooldown period. And I was able to get my standing from 11 in Cutlass Keys all the way up to 29 in just one day, just doing these cooldowns. Now, there's a couple ways to, do this. You can either buy all the materials that it takes to make these and just knock them out really quick, or you could farm most of them, yourself, like the corrupted crystals, shards, fragments, and lodestone. You can do those while hitting the portals. So if you are trying to get a house in, I don't know, Everfall, you could run around and do the Everfall portals, start, collecting the materials, and just make sure that when it's time to turn these in, to the higher level or the higher tier things, that you have your stone cutting gear on you, because it'll give you an extra 10% to craft additional ones. And it actually works. So watch this. So I have my full set of stone cutting gear. That's going to give me 2% per piece. And let's just do, let's do the shards. So if one corrupted shard, I'll probably get 2. Okay. Let's see if I get 2 of these. All right. So not going too well. Ooh, let's see if I get 20. There we go. So yeah, just make sure you're wearing that stuff. Very important. Now, another thing is the stone cutting doesn't give you any chance to get additional increases in your territory standing. So it doesn't even have the little thing up here. So don't worry about wearing your stone cutting gear for this stuff. So another thing about this is when you make these, they don't go in your inventory. That's nothing that you actually open up. It doesn't give you a box that you have to open. It gives you the territory standing right away. It is very similar to when you go to get additional experience for your weaponsmithing. You know how you can turn those fragments or whatever into the weaponsmithing books, the research notes. Well, same thing. When you use them, it just gives you the experience. It does not give you anything physical in your inventory. So just be aware of that. If you craft it and you don't think anything happens, it did. It just shows you a little message saying how much experience you got. So if you want to get the materials yourself, that's great. But if you want to be able to get and utilize all 4 of the different tiers of territory supplies, you're going to have stone cutting 200, because it's going to take runestone. Now, this is if you want to make them yourself and farm the materials yourself. You're going to definitely need 200 stone cutting and a tier 5 stone cutting table. Now, if you don't care about doing that and you want to just buy the materials for this, you're going to have at least stone cutting 100 and a stone cutting tier 3 table. So that's if you want to be able to utilize these and just, buy all the materials. So a couple really important things. First of all, whatever territory you are in crafting these, that's the territory standing you're going to get. So if you want to get Windsward territory standing because you want a house out there, make sure you go to the Windsward stone cutting table. And remember, when you make these, it doesn't put anything in your inventory. You can see right there how much experience you're getting. And I also did some testing. The territory standing buff does apply here. It doesn't apply when you close the portals, but it does apply when you kill certain mobs, and it also applies when you go to craft these territory standing supplies. So just double, triple check and make sure that you have the best buff that you can get. And remember, that's going to be 30% additional territory standing for 90 minutes. It might just be a good idea to do it yourself, because I don't know if you can see what level the buff's going to be when you tip somebody. I mean, you'll know when you highlight it after, but just make it easy on yourself. Do it yourself. And for those of you that don't know, to get the maximum buff, you're going to want to play it on expert, and you're going to want to get as many perfect notes as you can. And you will get the maximum, which is for this 90 minutes and 30% increased territory standing. All right, well, that just happened. I wonder if these guys are cool. So like I said in the beginning of the video, when I did all these, now I did all, 8 times 4, 32 territory supplies. There's 8 of all the different 4 tiers, 8 each, and you can do those in all one day if you want, one setting, and that's what I did. And I got from 11 in Cutlass keys to 29. So that's why I said this is going to be the best way or the quickest way to get territory standing. Now, I said it might be cost effective too. I don't know, because it doesn't really cost anything to go out and, grind. But it's definitely the quickest way, and you get a lot. Like I said, 11 to 29. And something else worth mentioning, since these are available, people are actually using and selling Runestone. And Runestone went from whatever it was, like around 100 gold. It's more than Asmodeum on Castle of Steel, only by a couple gold. Asmodeum, when I checked it yesterday, it was like 260, and the Runestone's at 268. And there's also a market there's a market for the corrupted lodestone and stuff too, because when I was doing this, I bought out the market of not the corrupted lodestone, but the lower tiers. So there might be some money to be made with that too for all you stonecutters, so check it out. So that should pretty much cover it. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comments. And if anybody else has anything to add, I would love to hear what you have to say. And also, if you guys know what the cooldown is, I know it's more than 24 hours, but I don't know if it's like 3 days, every 72 hours. It doesn't say anywhere. So if anyone knows the cooldown, when you could do these again, that would be great. Just leave it in the comments so that everybody knows, and I'll throw it in the description. So it's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. And you guys all have a great day.